right, well, finally we get to meet with AC Glenn and talk a little bit about his airplane. First, I would like to kind of get from AC where the idea of this airplane came from and what his goals were in designing it.
Yeah, so it kind of all started off actually several years back, driving back or flying back from the Worlds in Argentina, and Chuck and I were just sitting on the plane sketching airplanes, and we kind of came up with this shape that we really liked, which was this one. And the original idea was it was going to be a remake of the Aerial that I won the Nats with back in '05, because I just absolutely loved that airplane. And so the shape kind of matches the Aerial a little bit, but more modernized, a lot bigger, obviously with the T-can. So that was kind of the original goal starting off with it, and it kind of evolved a little bit as the style changed with airplanes. And I've always been in love with monoplanes just because of the simplicity of them. So that's kind of where we started off at. And then of course with the Alchemy wings and stabs, it kind of really brought the airplane alive. So
yeah, there may be new iterations of this airplane in the future as we progress and get more time and have a lot more understanding of the airplane. But for now, I think this basic layout is worked out pretty well. I watched you run it through, I don't know, 5 or 6 flights with the airplane. Hell, the first flight you ever took with it, you won the round of the contest.
Yeah.
Beating Jason and Brett. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was flying awesome. It still is.
I think maybe 6 flights on the airplane. So
yeah, 5 or 6 flights on it. Yeah, and it's progressed a lot since then too. Just kind of refining my setup in the radio and being able to fly F and mess with unknowns and stuff with it. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so it's gonna be great.
I think Jason took a couple flights on it.
Yeah, he did. Jason loved it.
Yeah.
Jason, in fact, his words were, "Can I do a monoplane and bipe at the Worlds this year?" So I think he was pretty happy with it, and it was great to see him fly it and truly like it. So
well, it's always good to get an opinion too of another top pilot to give you their feedback on the airplane.
For sure.
Everybody kind of eventually hones their own style and their own system to set up and their own preferences on airplanes, and I think it's good to step back once in a while and fly something new and just kind of calibrate where you're at with your setups, and then look at somebody else's approach and you know, see if you can learn something from that.
For sure. Yeah, it
Tell
was
me,
funny. Jason flew it and he was like, I think it needs a little more down thrust, and put a little more down thrust in, and we're like, okay, that actually, I can see where that made a difference, and I probably would have never noticed it had somebody else not flown it.
Yeah, that's good.
So
it's one of your twisted props here, 2013 and a half.
Yep.
I don't see you. What happened to your signature there? I don't see.
It's on the. It was on the one I gave to Oscar.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was on that prop. I gave that one to Oscar. So
let's talk about the belt drive, man. What do you think about the belt drive? I know that's kind of a little bit new setup for you because you've been running Pledis and other things.
Yeah, so I really like the belt drive. I was thoroughly impressed with it. I guess last summer Andrew got one and was able to see him kind of fly it, and really got interested in it. And I've always been, Jason and I've always had a great relationship. It makes gobs of power. The torque is great.
Yeah, really good.
It's really impressive to me, and it's really robust too. I mean, it's built not to break. So it's been great. And that's the high KV one.
Yes, a high KV version, Precision Aero. I flew a high KV and I flew your motor in Oscar's airplane just to help him trim it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was impressed with it. I hadn't flown the high KV. I've been using the low KV for a while now.
Gotcha.
And really been very bulletproof.
And it's great. I mean, I think a lot of people think that you can't fly slow with this setup.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine.
And what's interesting is watching Jason fly this airplane like it was a Contra.
Yeah.
You know, just at a snail's pace, and it just pulled right through everything. It was good, impressive. Love the drive. That's why I bought so many of them.
Yeah, you did. I think you kept them in business for a month or two. Yeah, I was really happy this airplane turned out as well as it did. It's really light. I don't remember what the weight was. Do you remember?
When we weighed it in Ocala, it was 4726 with 6,000s.
With 6,000s, yeah. And that's
really good.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And there's still some stuff that I want to, you know, I want to take that battery tray out so I could even get lighter there.
Yeah.
So
you'll save at least an ounce there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, 4,700 grams is really.
Yeah.
Imagine how big you can make this airplane with the new rules.
Yeah. I just don't know that I want to make it that big though. Big means slow to me.
Yeah, big does mean a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Let's flip it over and look at the bottom and look at the servo layout. What was your overall thought process designing this airplane? What were your goals?
The goal was to make an airplane that was basically point and shoot. I wanted to be able to fly it in all wind conditions and not have to really worry about getting blown around, and then also trying to have a wide speed envelope, and also, of course, making a great snapping airplane. That's
well, snaps are always on everybody's mind, you know, and one thing about flying a monoplane, when you start thinking about unknowns, you always have to consider, you know, will I have enough pack left, because the motor gets abused with a monoplane because you have to use more power, you know, and I guess instead of the rudder. So there's a trade-off there with a bipe and a mono, but it's a good trade-off. And if your flying style is more adept to a monoplane, there's really from scoring you can look over the years. I mean, how many biplanes have won the world championships? One, maybe. Two.
And really one, and it was in 17.
Well, CkAero won it in Argentina.
Oh, CkAero won it too, sorry. Forgot about that one. Forgot that was the...
One's a glow power and one was electric power, I guess.
No, both were glow.
Both were glow?
Yeah, both, yeah. Yeah, Honda flew glow in 2017. But to kind of talk about the servo setup, I know, and I'll shameless plug here, but I know Futaba, for most guys, they're out of stock of the 171s. There's going to be some new servos coming. So Mark Hunt had brought these up to me, the 9172s, trying them. A little bit smaller of a servo, doesn't have the huge amount of torque, but I can snap this thing like crazy. I haven't had any blowback or anything, and at a really good price point. So 9172s on ailerons, 9670s on elevator, which are the plastic gear Futaba. Car servos, kind of very similar to the 9650s were back in the day.
I like these a lot.
They work amazing. And then A500 on the rudder. I know a lot of guys want to use the A701, which has monster torque, but this one seems like a good middle ground between the 171 and the 175. So
yeah, you know, we're always over torquing the rudder. You know, the guys that fly with the bipes are actually using 171s on the rudder. So you know, 100 inch ounces is really all you need on the rudder, because the fuselage and the design does all the work for the rudder power. So you know, there's some, and whenever you're looking for a couple extra grams here and there to build these big airplanes,
that's a good place to save it.
It's a great place to save it.
So I guess while we got it upside down, one thing that I don't think a lot of people can see in the photos is this is actually kind of like a spine here, this white area. So it's not, you would think the fuse is just kind of curving right there, but it's actually kind of a spine, almost like a strake.
It's a lower strake.
But wanted to hide it. And so it's funny, you look at the pictures of it, because it's painted white right there, you kind of miss it. And you just follow the lines of the purple, and it looks really good like that. And also one on the top here, by the rudder.
One of the things I learned when I was doing the Valiant years ago, everybody thought I put the strakes on the Valiant to help with the rudder power, but what it helped with was snap exits. The airplane was able to settle much faster after a snap. And landing, to me, and even with the bigger wings on these airplanes, so many different versions of double snap wings with the cut tips, and you have to be able to land a snap. And you know, the airplane has to come unstalled. To me, in my design process, landing the snaps is a lot harder than hitting a snap. You know, making it look like a snap.
The rotation.
So, you know, there's different nuances in every design, and the strakes are really was a great trade-off, because whenever we designed the Valiant, that year we had 13 snaps in F.
I remember that.
So, and you flew the Valiant, it was a snapping machine.
So it was that's kind of the thought process too, is, you know, trying to get an airplane that snaps really good, clean exits, and able to get the rotation. I know I snap faster than a lot of people do, and that's kind of what I was looking for. But I've also kind of slowed it down a little bit with this one on the snaps, and still I haven't had a problem with exits or even getting it to actually rotate, which has been really good.
Yeah, I watched you fly it through a couple snaps. It looked really good.
Yeah.
The airplane's happy. It's got good poise before and after the snap. There's no gotcha moment if you miss something.
Yeah.
You're easily recoverable. Upline, 45 downs, even the downline snaps, which are sometimes a little difficult, keeping the airplane online. Of course, it's got the CkAero landing gear set up with the composite box and plug-in landing gears, which I've found over the years have been just pretty resilient.
Yeah, and these these wheels you got from Ralph Schweitzer have been working really well.
Yeah, I started using the Schweitzer wheels here recently because wheels are so hard to come by.
Yeah.
And they're durable and light. That's what I like about them.
For sure. Yeah, the airplane, I mean, I'm overly happy with it. And one of the ways I kind of realized I was happy is it's got 77 flights on it now, and I got it from you 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And I've had to work too, so.
Yeah, when you told me you had 40 flights, I talked to you a couple weeks ago, a couple days ago, and you said, I got 40-something flights on. I said, good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on it.
These carbon horns are accessories from CkAero, but the horns that come in the kit are identical, just made out of phenolic.
Gotcha.
What you get in the kit is a wooden battery tray. All the horns, these horns are set up in phenolic. They come in a press out kit. These horns also come in that kit. And what these do is I have these measured where you can get 30 degrees of throw on your ailerons by adding this little horn on top of a plastic wheel from whatever radio brand, Futaba or JR or MKS, whatever you use in there. And eventually we're going to have the hardware packs where you'll be able to buy the push rod linkage, all the linkages for the airplane, the servo leads. You'll be able to buy them with the airplane, and that'll just keep people from running around trying to find the right linkages and stuff.
I've been really impressed with these ball links from Jason Arnold as well, from CkAero products. Those are really small but really nice.
Yeah, they weigh a couple grams, and that's what I've been using. I use them even on the glow planes. They're very durable.
Seem to be working great. And just I guess for everybody who may be wondering, the T-can has two tubes in it, front and back, and the rear one has a screw on each T-can, so you're able to pull the T-can off if you need to ship
for shipping or whatever. Right.
If it's easier to travel in your car that way, you can pull it off pretty easy.
It comes off pretty quick.
Yeah, I've had it off a couple times now. So
it's pretty impressive that you can build the airplane with the T-can at the weight it is. Normally that's another 100 grams, but the factory's been able to keep the weight down pretty good on the latest batch of models. The paint on these airplanes, on my newer airplanes coming, have been improved a lot.
Yeah, I was very impressed with this paint. So it turned out really nice. And I think the airplane, and I know a lot of guys don't like my scheme, but the reason I use it is because I can see it very well. And this bottom scheme, which I think is on the stock scheme as well, it looks like an arrow when you have the belly towards you going up on a vertical upline or carving through a maneuver. It gives an arrow look to it, so you're able to stay straight with the airplane.
I remember this scheme on some of your dad's original airplanes in the 2000s, this lower wing scheme, and it's always been visible. There's a couple of schemes out there that are super visible on the bottom. One of them is Jason's scheme, and then it was this scheme. And it's just as you get older, you realize you have to be able to see the airplane. Before, when I was flying, when I was young, I didn't care what airplane. If it's pretty on the ground, that's what I was concerned with. Nowadays, you have to be able to see it. The judge has to be able to see it. And that's the important thing. And we have Joseph working on a new factory CkAero scheme for the airplane, and it's coming out pretty nice. So we'll be able to release that here pretty soon. So, you know, the airplane in photos really doesn't do it justice. When you see it up close, and in person. It has a lot of nice features, like the strakes that are not really visible in the scene, in the pictures, that give the airplane a lot of nice character, different character. The way the canopy profile is with the high rise, the short point in the front. There's a lot of things that have come together on the airplane to, you know, basically to execute your flying style.
Yeah.
And if you like a little bit faster pace, quick snaps, really a docile airplane, but you still have the rudder power.
Yeah.
Of you know, any biplane on the market right now.
Yeah.
It's a good selection. It's a good choice.
Yeah, it's working, and the rudder power's been awesome. It's funny, yesterday flying with Chuck, it was the first time he's seen it fly, and did some knife edge maneuvers, and he was shocked at how well it carves through everything. And very, you know, the mixing isn't a lot at all. I think I have 2% at max rudder for pitch, and that's really been it. And that, you know, you can play with CG to get rid of that.
Right. If you want to refine the airplane more and spend your time in the shop like I would,
yeah,
it could be easily eliminated.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I built this airplane for you in like 4 days.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it worked out perfect.
I gave it a pretty much this is what you're going to get, and it's your turn to refine it.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get it. And I've been happy with it. I haven't had a need to really mess with anything.
Yeah.
So it's worked out perfect. And thank you and Brett for the opportunity to be able to do the airplane.
Yeah, we enjoy it, man.
It turned out awesome. You're really happy with it.
I designed one airplane for you already, the Allure.
Yep.
And you won the Nats with that one, so let's see if you can repeat.
That's the hope.
I think Chip and Brett might be, might not be hoping the same thing.
Yeah, they definitely probably won't be. We'll do battle in a couple months.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Anything you want to add to the video about the airplane that we've missed?
No, I think, and I was going to tell you this too, Brian. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to develop a small wiki that people can go on to be able to get all the information, whether it's throws that I'm using, CG placement that I'm using. I'm going to make a receiver and battery tray mount for it and put that file up. So if anybody wants to cut that file out,
yeah, that's a good idea.
Mount their stuff up, make that wiki page so everybody can go to it. And if anybody has any questions about the airplane, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Facebook, or if you have my phone number, just give me a call. I have no problem, you know, helping out in any way. I'd love to see as many of these out there as possible here in the future.
Yeah, well, let's hoping that everything works okay and we don't have any catastrophes, and we're able to get this thing at the Nationals and show what it can really do.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
All right, we're fixing to get going to the contest here. I'd like to say thanks to everybody watching with interest on the airplane. I know it's been a little while since we were able to get the video out, and with our work schedules, it's so hard to get together, and this was a good opportunity for me and AC to sit down. It's not the best environment.
Well, we
got horse tracks in the back and everything else, but everything seemed to work out okay.
Yeah.
All right, AC.
All right.
Thanks for your time, buddy.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Brian.
All right.